Hey everybody, I'm Katie McDoyle and hey everybody, welcome to the Detecting History podcast. How are you all doing? It is Saturday the 11th of January. I still have snow in the garden and we didn't have a lot of it here. Probably had maybe 5 centimetres maybe. So not a lot, but it's been freezing, hasn't it? Absolutely Baltic. So it hasn't gone anywhere in quite a few days. And I know up north, oh my goodness, you got lots and lots of snow. So I'm not sure how much detecting everybody's been able to do. It has been freezing. I hope you've all had your thermals on if you have been out and about. I saw a top tip this week. I was following an equestrian lady on Instagram and she was raving about her fleece-lined waterproof trousers. So I had a look and yes, they are such a thing. It's all about dressing for the conditions, isn't it? You'll never be cold if you dress correctly. So yeah, I had a look. Some of those out there, about 40 quid, 50 quid. But I'm sure it'll be worth it. So I'm going to treat myself, get myself a pair ready for when I get back to detecting. Only a couple of weeks now and I can get back on my permission after the shooting season finishes and hopefully the ground will be less frozen. And those first signs of spring, they're coming. I can see them. I can see some different types of, what is it, daffodils? Is it snowdrops? I don't know. They're coming up anyway. I'm hopeful and the light is lovely today. I just love it when it's blue sky and sunny. So, what have you been up to? I have an update. I have sold the DS2. I've sold the Treasure Cove detector. And I've sold the other one. I can't remember the name of it. It was good actually on eBay. Xenox, that was the cheaper one. I sold them all. I was very happy with the price I got. Very happy that my DS2 went to a listener. Big shout out to Josh. Josh was in the market for a detector. All synced up nicely. I tell you what though, trying to send a metal detector in the post is difficult. Trials and tribulations. So first of all, with the Treasure Cove, that was nice and easy. It was all easy to take apart. It had its own carrying case. So the main thing there was just to find a box big enough. If I had one of those, Bob's your uncle, out the door, we are all good. The Xenox doesn't come apart so well and it's got a massive coil on it. So I was going around the houses to try and find a box big enough. There wasn't one. So I had to order a box specially for the right dimensions for that. That's fine, all good. DS2, however, and Josh will be chuckling if you're listening, Josh, because you know all about this. Bit difficult, and you know why it's difficult, and it's difficult for anything actually, probably not just metal detectors, but iPads and other tablets and laptops and mobile phones and all that jazz. Nobody seems to want to ship anything with lithium batteries in, which I hadn't really thought about before. Anyway, multiple different distributing companies. In their T's and C's, when you look, it says that they don't ship anything like that. Actually, when you go through a lot of them, they've got a list of literally everything you think of. You think, what is the point? What am I going to ship with you? Because you've listed everything you don't ship, and that is just basically everything. So I thought I was being clever because I wanted to insure the DS2 on its route to Josh in Essex, to make sure that, you know, if the worst did happen, anything happened, I can make a claim and get a new one sent out to Josh. Anyway, I sent it with a distributor who has yellow and red in their logo, maybe, perhaps. I won't name them. And then, yeah, they sent it all the way to Stansted Airport, x-rayed it, and then decided to return it to me because they don't allow multiple lithium batteries. Remember, you got your battery in your coil, your battery in your control box, your battery in your headphones, battery in the pinpointer. So that's a total of 4 batteries. Wouldn't allow that for international travel. International travel? I didn't think it would need a flight to get to Essex, so I phoned them up and complained. And they were like, oh yeah, sorry about that. So it came back to me. So then I was not going to send it back via and I was really cross actually, because when I got it back, they had opened it up. All my hard work with the packaging had been undone, and they'd actually been in there and had a good look round. Fair enough for safety, whatever, but if you're going to do that, at least put everything back in tidy. So luckily nothing was damaged or missing, but it made me cross. So you know what I did? Good old Royal Mail. I took the hit on the insurance cost because that was the reason I went with the other one, because it was cheaper to insure. How wrong was I? So it is now winging its way to Josh via Royal Mail special delivery. I've learnt my lesson to try and expand my horizons when it comes to delivery companies. And the funny thing is, I looked to see which company bought my detector to me when I first purchased it. That company says it will not ship a package with multiple batteries in it. So I don't know what's changed. I did my research, but anyway, it was a little bit stressful for a time, but hopefully everything is sorted now. So if you are selling a detector and you are having to post it, make sure you are aware of the rules for these different companies and how many lithium batteries you can have in one box. And yeah, I threatened to take it to Josh myself, but it didn't come to that. But good news, I did sell it. So now I have a nice little fund to treat myself. Treat number one will be these trousers that I speak about, ready for getting out and digging. And my back has been brilliant. I'm so excited. As soon as I can, I'm going to get out there. Nearly went on a group dig actually today, but it is just so frozen. I just thought, nah, I'll wait until it's a bit easier digging, but very excited. So as you probably guessed, no guest on the show today. I am reaching out and putting my feelers out. I'm trying to get people to agree to come on, have a little interview, have a little chat. So hopefully we'll have someone joining us soon. But I thought I'd just share a bit about what I've been watching on TV recently, because it seems like post-Christmas all the new series are starting. So first of all, I have been recording Lost and Found in the Lakes on BBC One at 2 p.m. With Helen Skelton. Remember Helen? She does a few of the daytime shows now, but she started on Blue Peter, I think, and she does Country File, which we all love. We might not say we do, but we all secretly love it. And she's always been a very outdoorsy girl, hasn't she? And she did that amazing Amazon challenge that time where what was she, in a canoe or something, and went down like a really far distance on the Amazon. Anyway, she's great. I love her. So Lost and Found in the Lakes, the premise is, in the Lake District, people, when they go visit, they tend to lose things. And the first 3 episodes that I've watched so far, we've had people that have been jumping off rocks into the water, dropping their phones, losing memories. There was a drone that was knocked off a boat, and it was from a wedding, and so people, the bride and groom, lost some of the wedding pictures. That drone was just at the bottom of the lake. People losing rings, all that good stuff. So it's a really good show, and it's really interesting to see all of the divers trying to seek and find where people have lost their bits and pieces. So lots of underwater detecting going on. And then on episode 3, there was some people out detecting. So there was Graham, Shirley, Dave and Kate on episode 3 at Tarn House. Graham, I recognised Graham. I think he's from Unearthed UK, maybe. I know I recognise girls as well, Shirley and Kate from, I think you're on the Sassies if you listen. So yeah, really good episode, and the girls were just detecting in some of the undergrowth there, and they found 2 rings in the same place, and they were obviously from a set of 3. And then they have their online forensics person that when they get the phone or there was an Apple Watch or the drone, she sees if it's still working and gets some clues to see who owns it, and they try and reunite the items with the owners. And then the other side of it is people have gone to the show to say they've lost things, and hope that people will find it for them. So there's quite a few episodes of that. It's on iPlayer now, so you can catch up with those, and there's a few more. I think there's maybe 12 episodes or something on there. So yeah, that's a good show. I recommend it. Check it out. I've also been watching this week, we have got Lucy Worley Investigates. So the presenter and historian Lucy Worley, she's got a new series out, and the first one that I've just watched was on Jack the Ripper. So I do love how she tells the tales with excitement and intrigue. She's got a way, hasn't she, when she presents. So it's very good, and she had access to the letter that was sent to the newspaper where they first signed off their name, Jack the Ripper. And the thought is that that letter was actually fake. They had a criminologist on, and he was saying that he thought it was fake, having worked with serial killers and things in the past. He thought it didn't sound like a serial killer, what they would have wrote in that letter, and he thought it might have been a bit of someone being naughty actually at the newspaper and generating the excitement by sending this letter in that they could publish, and made it very famous. Obviously 1888, Jack the Ripper. So yeah, she's got a series. I think there's another episode with Guy Fawkes, and I think it's a series of 6. So again, if you love your history, you're going to love that show. Now, I was so happy to see that The Curse of Oak Island is back as well. I'm watching it on Sky History. I'm sure it's probably available online somewhere. One of the many of the online streaming services probably carry it. I love it because it's really relaxing to watch that show. That's why I like the Detectors as well. But The Curse of Oak Island, the premise is, if you don't know, that the island is partially owned by Marty and Rick Legina, and they are in Nova Scotia, when this island's just off the shore of Nova Scotia. So Rick and Marty have long been on the quest to find this speculated treasure that's believed to be on Oak Island. There were quite a lot of earlier investigations before they were around, and there's this area of interest on the island called the Money Pit, and they think that there's a whole load of buried treasure there that they sort of, they speculate whether it could be the Knights Templar, and whether, the what's that chest called, the religious chest, Pandora's box. The Cup of Christ, all of those bits and pieces they think could be buried way down deep in some shaft on Oak Island. There was a chap called Dan Blankenship. Now, he was a treasure seeker on Oak Island for sort of 50 years before Rick and Marty turned up. And then they sort of bought part of the island. There's other owners for lots on the islands, and as the seasons go on, they buy some of these lots, or they join forces with other owners of these lots. And they've been going on for, it's season 12 now, trying to find the Money Pit. They're going down in the different various shafts, the garden shaft, this shaft. The money that must have gone into this project, honestly. I think Rick, or maybe it's Marty, has got like a big wine company that seems to be quite huge. And then, of course, with the TV show, they get funding that way. But, the machinery they've had on, they've been drilling like test drill holes, and then they do these massive shafts with these huge caissons going down, and they're looking through the soil, finding wood. So that's where they know shafts are, and apparently it's booby trapped. And as legend has it, a certain amount of people have to die, and a certain amount of people have already died. I think one more person needs to die. as part of the tale of the treasure of Oak Island. But they have found a lot of stuff. They found Spanish copper coins. They found what they think is a Roman sword. They found to be bits of manuscript way down in the ground at a time, and things dated at a time when it really shouldn't be there. Who brought it there? They found bone fragments from people of Middle Eastern ancestry. They found an amazing lead cross with a square hole at the top that's dated from 1200 and between 1200 and the 17th century in origin. And then that shape of the cross, they've come over to Europe, and then they've found it in various different places where Knights Templar were rumoured to have met and been hanging out. So it's so interesting. I love it. I love the enthusiasm. I think, oh gosh, how that would be the dream to be part of that project. It's interesting to see all of the different ways they're trying to find information. So geophys, and then they have all these different sort of ways to try and work out where a cave or an underground void might be. Radio waves, mini explosions to send out waves, and then they can monitor where the waves have been moving around more freely or not. In the earlier seasons, when they had the massive caissons go down, they actually sent a diver guide down, so he'd go down, and he'd be looking to see if he could find a void. It's fantastic. I have rambled. There's so many episodes. If you haven't watched Curse of Oak Island, I'm jealous, because you've got 11 seasons to catch up on, and as I say, we're on season 12. There's 206 episodes. They all last an hour or 45 minutes if you're running through the adverts. Fast forward on your old TV recorder, but it is brilliant. There are a lot of characters on the island, and one of the funniest and one of our favourites is Gary Drayton. Now, Gary Drayton, who lives in Florida, is the metal detecting expert on the island. So it's great to see him go out and about and help find things. You see him and he's in a section of woods, and you can see all these flags around. So I reckon there's sort of a squad of detectorists. This is my theory. There's a squad of detectorists, and they find the signals, put a flag in, and then Gary goes around and digs up that with someone, and then he gets his top pocket finds. He gets really excited. My top pocket finds, mate. He loves it. His enthusiasm, and as I say, that's a dream project. I really do hope they find something. But it is funny the way that they sort of go steaming off down one theory and saying, Ark of the Covenant, it could be. Yes, it could be, but it could also be a Coca-Cola can from 1972. But that's what we all feel, isn't it? When we're digging down, every time we get that crisp signal, it could be Anglo-Saxon gold. It could be a gold stater. It is, in fact, actually a moo tube or a ring pull. But it's always the possibility. It always could be one of those things. And sometimes it is. And that's the magic of metal detecting. Right, let's have a look. Gary Drayton on Instagram. Gary.Drayton. Metal detecting expert, it says. Treasure hunter and author, always be yourself, he says. Unless you can be a pirate, then always be a pirate. Absolutely, Gary. I'm following you. I'm going to try and get Gary on the podcast. How good would that be? Going to IMDb gives us a bit of a mini bio about Gary. So Gary grew up in Grimsby in the UK. He used to dig old Victorian trash pits and mud hopping along the riverbanks. Yes, mudlarking. It says its oldest find was a Roman perfume bottle. Ooh, lovely. Gary then moved across the pond to South Florida. Ooh, can you imagine? Heat all year round. Although, wouldn't like all of the big snakes and the alligators. But hey ho. He decided one day to take his metal detector to the beach, and on this day he dug up a Spanish silver piece of 8. Then a few months later he found a 1715 Spanish fleet gold and emerald ring. That's it, isn't it? Once you start getting your good finds, and good really can just be anything. It could be something Roman, it could be something, a hammered coin, or it could be like a crotal bell. Magic of finding the stuff, the treasure. So he makes a living now, doing writing, beach and water hunting related books, and giving private treasure hunting lessons. And of course, he's one of the regular cast of the Curse of Oak Island. So Gary is living the dream. It says here Gary utilises a range of mine lab detectors. His first mine lab detector was the Excalibur. Quote, Gary states that as any long-time mine lab user will tell you, the only way to beat a mine lab is by using another mine lab. So I always have other specialist tools in the old tool shed. So he's got quite a few mine lab detectors. Fantastic. Searching for Spanish treasure on the beach, Gary prefers the awesome deep detection power of the GPX 5000 and the large commander search coils. Fantastic. While travelling on metal detecting vacations, he grabs the Equinox 800 for the majority of the tourist beach jewellery hunts. He can't go past his CTX 3030. Fantastic. It says here, Gary's most memorable find is the magnificent 300-year-old emerald treasure ring worth a cool $500,000. That is a find of a lifetime. Of course. Wow. Brilliant. So yeah, check it out. Gary, it says here, he's got his own blog and YouTube channel in addition to be featured on Curse of Oak Island. Let me see if I can find that and let you know where that is. 1 second. Okay, I found it. So there's not many videos on there, only 14 videos. But if you're a fan of Gary, go onto YouTube and it's International Man of History 1077. So that's at International Man of History 1077. So yeah, if you haven't watched it before, Oak Island, go check it out. And I'm very much enjoying the first couple of episodes and hopeful that we might find some actual treasure soon. Woohoo! So lastly today, I saw that in America there is a cryptocurrency millionaire that loves treasure hunts and has set up his own massive treasure hunt across the United States. So it's taken apparently 5 years for them to prepare launching this treasure quest. And they've launched a book with it. So you need the book in America to go on this massive, massive treasure hunt. So John Collins Black is the name of the guy that's done this. And the book is called There's Treasure Inside. And you need that book to then go on the largest national treasure hunt in history. And apparently there's a couple of £1 million worth of treasure spread across America. And if you have the book and you have all the clues, you should be able to find some of these treasures. And the treasures include, but not limited to, apparently, Bitcoin, antiquities, shipwreck bounty, rare Pokemon cards, sports memorabilia, gold, precious metals, and rare gems. Other objects have historical significance, including one made or owned by the likes of Pablo Picasso, George Washington, Amelia Earhart, Jackie Onassis. So there's a lot to be found in America right now if you get this book. And then anybody can find this treasure. So, I mean, that's epic, isn't it? That's true Indiana Jones, Goonies type level of treasure hunting. And I wish we had something like that here. So if you fancy it, we could all band together, couldn't we? We could organise a bit of a group sesh, read the book together. We'll instantly work out where the treasure is, get a couple of flights over, go dig it up. Bob's your uncle. I'm sure it's not that easy. So let me know. Let me know if you want to go on the treasure hunt. I think our friend from the podcast, from Lost Treasures USA podcast, Adam Means, I did spot on his Facebook. He was calling out for people to join him, so I reckon he's currently off looking for some of that treasure himself. And if you are, Adam, best of luck to you. I think it's fantastic. Meanwhile, over here in the good old UK on Instagram, I've seen the gold coin people popping up on my feed. And these seem to be a group of folks that are doing their own version of sort of a treasure hunt thing for people. And what they're doing is they're putting different gold coins in different places in the UK and just showing little snippets of the area around. And that's pretty much all the clue you get. So if you're in that area, or if you've ever been to that place, you might recognise it, and then you can go and find it. But I would love to have like a proper treasure chest quest in the UK, where you had a book and you had to work it out and find it that way, rather than just, having to know the location of somewhere where it's put. However, the gold coin people UK, that's still a bit of fun, isn't it? Just love all that stuff. I loved geocaching when that first came out. You'd have to go and find the place and find the clue. I remember as a kid, in the 80s, so of course no internet, because I am that old, my mum had a couple of sets of encyclopedias, and she would love Treasure Hunt with Annika Rice. Do you remember that? And there'd be some sort of like quest where Annika would jump in a helicopter in a certain area and there'd be clues. My mum would be getting out all the encyclopedias trying to follow along with the show. And I would love it. I wouldn't quite understand what's going on because I was so young. But it just was so exciting. Treasure to me, and quests of finding things. It's always been so exciting. So yes, let me see if I can find these gold people UK and I'll tell you a bit more about them. Okay, these gold coin people, if you go on Instagram, it's actually Find My Gold. They've got 86,000 followers so far. They've done 98 posts. And yeah, they've just been placing gold around. But it looks like things might be changing. They have put up something about some kind of subscription service. I did wonder actually, how could you afford to give away so much in gold coins without just going bust? Because you don't make any money through that. Yeah, here we go. So on their post, big announcement. We have been overwhelmed by the positive response to our page for our launch. Brilliant. I know it's a lot of hard work, so it's good. As we approach the 100k follower mark on Instagram, we have so far generated a total of £0. Laughy face. Well, yeah, that's right, because you don't get, ad revenue and things from Instagram so easy. Okay, so we have given away over £16,000 worth in gold coins so far. We would love to get back to giving away the £1,000 plus gold coins each time. We reach the point where we're doing life-changing treasure hunts for those who find them. Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, you've got to have a really secure business model. I love this, and I love that people are supporting them, and I really hope they find success. But much like that chap in America, I think you've got to see it as just a fun thing to do, like with the podcast. I'm into metal detecting because I love metal detecting, and then, there wasn't a podcast for me. I love podcasts, so I made the Detecting History podcast. And do it purely for the love of it. But when you're giving away thousands of pounds worth of gold coins, you've got to have a good business model behind it if you haven't just got that lying down the back of the sofa. So they're going to launch a premium subscription option, they're saying here, give our fans a number of perks. So this is how they're going to try and raise that revenue, right, with a subscription service. Supposed to be a 30-minute head start on all gold coin hunts. Well, 30 minutes though, if it's a location up in Leeds and I'm down in Hampshire, that 30 minutes isn't really going to help me out, is it? Weekly exclusive gold hunts for subscribers, okay. Private WhatsApp group, okay. And the one we're most excited about, they say on their post, will do a monthly prize draw. Okay. I don't know. Again, I'm just like, wow, that's a lot of risk. They think the subscription will be around £3.50 per month. Well, yeah, if of their 80,000 followers, everybody subscribed at £3.50 per month, it wouldn't be a problem, would it? But times be tight, so those £3.50s soon stack up. And did I mention last week about all the subscriptions I've got just on my TV service? Netflix, Disney, Prime, Apple, all of those things soon add up, don't they? But yeah, I mean, it's difficult. If it was an actual treasure quest hunt like that chap in America, it'd be worth it, wouldn't it? Because you could do all your research at home and then you could go to the location. But as I say, if it's just a camera shot of a location, if you know it, you know it. If I don't know that location, there's no amount of research I can do that's going to help me find it. So yes, I hope you find your niche, Find My Gold, and I would love to have you come on the podcast and just talk about what inspired you to set this up. You obviously love it. So we wish you all the success, and I hope my shout out for you maybe pushes some more people in your direction. They can see all that hard work you've put into it so far. And I hope your subscription service is very, very successful, because that's what we all want at the end of the day, isn't it? We want to do something we love, just make enough money to pay the bills, and hope that everybody else loves the service we're providing too. So good luck to you. Okay, news time. Done a bit of a Google. There's not a lot out there. Obviously, it being Christmas and it being freezing and the weather not being kind. Having a look, I found a news story about friends finding an amazing treasure trove while metal detecting in a Welsh field. So this happened very recently. Chris Evans and James Fraser found a hoard of suspected medieval silver coins in an Anglesey field. Well done, lads. There's a picture of you there looking very wet and muddy, but very happy. Chris said it was a whopping signal. The beeping nearly blew my ears off. And he thought it might have been a bit of trash, because you get that, don't you, when you get a bit of a banging signal. It could be treasure. It could be a Coke can. Or for me, a Red Bull can, because it always is. But yeah, medieval coins likely dating back over 700 years to the era of a renowned castle constructor, King Edward I. Well done, lads. So yeah, you found them over Christmas 28th of December. You started to find a few coins, but then you found the mother lode. King Edward I, of course, reigning between 1272 and 1307. They're now off to the National Museum of Wales, where they're going to get cleaned up and logged and catalogued and all that jazz. So nice to see a pair of friends there with a good permission, and then as soon as they found it, they did the right thing, called in the right people. It's all being handled really well, and that's just fantastic stuff. Amazing. One day. So finally, a shout out to Detector Timmy. You messaged me in the week on Instagram, and you were commenting on the post I did to say that Digging for Britain's back on. That's also on season 12. I just watched the first episode last night, actually, and there was lots of Anglo-Saxon gold. Really good series with Professor Alice Roberts. Alice Roberts finding all the bits and pieces with the different people around the country, where she's not actually finding, is she? She's going and looking to see what other people have found. But that was a really good episode. And yeah, Detector Timmy, you said the second programme is filmed in Kettering, a stone's throw away from where you are. So that must have been exciting. I think I would definitely turn up and volunteer to wash some of the finds, or get down and do some of the mini excavating that they do with their little brushes as they dig away from the bones and things. So yeah, hello Timmy, have a great week. And that's about it from me. Hopefully I'll have some guests soon. I'm working on it, I promise I am. But in the meantime, if you want to message me, please email me on detectinghistorypodcast@gmail.com, or you can find me on Instagram or Facebook, Detecting History Podcast, or you can message me direct at Katie Metals Detects. And of course, don't forget, I've got a 10% promo code that you can use at Regton's when you're spending your Christmas money, and the promo code to enter at checkout, what was that accent? At checkout is DH Podcast, and that will get you off 10% off some, but not all items. Doesn't work on all of the big metal detector packs and things, but it will get you 10% off a lot of stuff, actually, a lot of things. So big shout out to Marcus and Seb and the Regton team. And until next time, take it easy, and I hope you all get out soon and it's not too cold where you are.